Indigenous Rights Radio, because knowledge is power.
The 2025 UN Climate Change Conference, known as COP30, is concluding in Belém, Brazil, a city often referred to as the gateway to the Amazon rainforests, from November 10 to 21, 2025. This major global meeting has brought together government representatives from the 198 signatory countries, along with delegates from UN bodies, civil society, academia, and the private sector. Significantly, COP30 features a record participation of indigenous peoples, with over 3,000 registered delegates, alongside strong representations from women and youth. Cultural survival has engaged with indigenous leaders and their representatives to capture their priorities and demands at this critical conference.
My name is Onel Inanadinia Masardule. I am from the Guna Nation in Panama. In this opportunity, I advocacy in the topic related for adaptation. Well, one of the achievement that us, like indigenous peoples, we here talking about in adaptations is because in this time we have 10 years since the Paris Agreement. So for that time until now, we have in the position papers, and also in the text, and the text is related our knowledge for indigenous peoples. That is one of the achievements that we are made it in that time in the Paris Agreement. So now in adaptations, we are focused in two things. One is in the global goal in adaptations, and the other is in national plans in adaptations, NAPS. For now in the GGA, we are talking about the indicators. What happened about the indicators? The indigenous peoples are in 18 indicators. In one of the thematic goal that we are mentioned is the thematic for cultural heritage. That is very important for our knowledge like indigenous peoples. And in the meantime, also we are focused too in finance. That is very important to us for the indigenous peoples. How we can get the direct access for indigenous peoples organizations in adaptations. Until now, in the Glasgow, we are talking about 3 times the budget for adaptations until 2030. So that is gonna be implemented for us, the indigenous people. We need to be part of the finance, because it's very important to do the activities because we are resilient and also vulnerable in our grassroots. That is very important, used for different kind of activities that is close to the topic of adaptation. Right now, we have a draft text, and we are still in informal consultations. So that means that we have 2 paragraphs that mentions indigenous peoples in the national plans in adaptation in NAPS. One paragraph, that is the 10, mentions the knowledge for indigenous peoples, and the other mentions the full effective participation for indigenous peoples in adaptation. That is one of the achievements that what I say until now, that we need to keep it or maintain onto the next step for the negotiations. I was talking with my government that one of the things that we need to start doing is exchange our knowledge, the knowledge that we are building in our communities. That is very important to let us know what is happening in the community, and also what is happening also in the international levels, to try to merge the 2 policy, and also is going to be engaged more the indigenous peoples to raising the voice for the topic in adaptations, and also for exchange and put their inputs for the thematic of adaptations in international levels too, for try to exchange the occidental knowledges with the indigenous people's knowledge. So try to merge and work together for be more engaged in this difficult negotiation that happened in here in the COP30 or even in the next COP2? Well, first of all, we need to do like a capacity building for them and also provide the access for this kind of capacity or activity that we want to do in the grassroots too. The third one is very important to provide this kind of information for the youth, because the youth is the future of our generations, and also is going to be keeping our voices in this space. This is international spaces in whatever mechanisms or framework that we are participating like indigenous peoples. I have right now like 5 years in these processes. I understand my relative that are coming for the first time because I wasn't in that positions too. So that is a reason that take time, because we need to know the acronyms that we are using in these international levels. That is the reason that when I came here, I tried to understand better and use on our own languages to provide this information to our peoples that is in the community, to let us know what is happening and why it's very important to participate in these spaces. So how we can engage with the elders and the youth? We are now building capacity. We are our own knowledges. We are own expertises. Have the position that provide this information to the youth, the woman, or another person with another alliance we have with another organization that work with the indigenous peoples, and also universities, NGOs, and another agencies that want to support the voices for the indigenous peoples. A message, well, it's gonna be simple. Well, we need to keep understanding this huge space that we are now participating, but it's very important to raise in the voices of indigenous peoples in these spaces, because we need to fight for our rights, fight for our peoples, fight for our territories. But that means that we are holistic. That mention is because we are a lot of indigenous peoples, but we are in our own way to try to fight in these international levels.
For more information on the rights of indigenous peoples, visit cs.org and follow Cultural Survival on Facebook, Instagram, LinkedIn, Threads, and Blue Sky.